Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about the dramatic weapon change of Zane from Season 8 all the way to Season 10, what happened with it and why he decided to go ahead and equip the bow and arrow as opposed to his traditional shurikens. So obviously in between Season 7 and Season 8 a lot of things changed for the ninja. Their various weapons however stayed primarily the same except in the case of Zane. In terms of other ninja, one could say that Cole's weapon changed dramatically, but his weapons simply changed from a scythe to a hammer. Obviously the same, fighting style was adapted from scythe to hammer, so in reality it's not that big of a change. Even characters like Kai going from one sword to two swords, it's just a minor change overall, but Zane's went from shurikens to bow and arrow. That's a pretty dramatic change. Obviously both are projectile weapons in terms of their functionality. A shuriken can be thrown and a bow and arrow can be shot. Obviously in terms of the category I'd say they're very similar, but in terms of functionality and in terms of the way that you fight with these things, it's very, very different. With the bow and arrow, I feel like that's the superior weapon for Zane. Not only can he use it offensively, he can also use it defensively, folding up the bow and kind of using it as a staff to defend against enemy attacks. We've seen him doing that before, and there's a lot more that you can do with a bow and arrow as opposed to a shuriken, and that's pretty much why I prefer the bow and arrow for Zane over the shuriken. But the question still remains, why exactly did he make this change? The simple and obvious answer is the Ninjago movie. Obviously in the movie version of Zane had a bow and arrow as his default weapon. Of course its uses in the movie are limited to non-existent, but the sets basically always featured Zane with a bow and arrow. Obviously since Sons of Garmadon was adapting a lot of stuff from the movie, they opted to adapt this as well, this certain type of weapon for Zane, and a lot of folks really didn't care for it. I personally did. In terms of an actual story explanation, there's not a whole lot that we can actually figure out here. The story really doesn't explain anything related to that. Zane just kind of has the bow and arrow in Season 8 and 9, and then when Season 11 rolled around, he obviously dropped it for shurikens again, so obviously it's not that significant of a change. However, I do feel like the bow and arrow was a better weapon for Zane overall. Obviously these shurikens are classic for Zane's arsenal. Obviously the golden shuriken device were Zane's primary golden weapon back in the day, and obviously the shurikens mean a lot more to Zane than a bow and arrow does, but I feel like a bow and arrow is a lot better for Zane as a character. I feel like that's a really cool character trope to have, kind of like a sniper or a long distance fighter on the team, and Zane fits that role perfectly in my opinion. So just overall I feel like Zane probably would have benefited from using the bow and arrow even more after the Oni and Dragon trilogy, but naturally he switched back to shurikens, so my wishes are pretty much non-existent here. But in terms of why he decided to switch weapons, again, just the movie went ahead and changed it. Pretty easy explanation there. However, this video did get pretty opinionated on my part, so let me know down below in the comments what weapon you prefer for Zane. Do you prefer Zane using his shurikens, or do you prefer Zane using the bow and arrow? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, and I look forward to reading what you guys come up with. With all that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for watching this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.